Hi everyone, my name is Sage and this is my very first YouTube video on my very second YouTube channel. So let's get right into it. So this one is going to be about my skin. So from as long as I've remembered, I've always had eczema. It would never really be on my face. It would always be on like my arms, my legs. Sometimes it got on my neck, it got on my chest. Like it was everywhere, but it wasn't like that all at once. It was just like, it used to be bad. I think it's mostly because, I was born and raised in New York. So it was the climate and everything and just how different the climate always was. So because of that, it always took a toll on my skin. But I would always be able to sort of handle it because, since I'm born and raised up there, it doesn't take long for your skin to adapt. You feel me? So when I was 10, I moved down to Wilmington, North Carolina with my mom. You feel me? She was getting married to my stepdad at the time. And, things were going great. You feel me? I didn't even realize that the difference between the climates. So even though it was warmer and it was a little bit more stable, quote unquote stable, it was still a problem because like it would be hot. And if you have eczema, you know how it is around your joint area, like right here, like as you can see, it's still like dark right here and stuff. Every blue moon, like not every blue moon I get breakouts, but it happened to be every blue moon this time because in Wilmington, it decided to freaking snow. But then the next day it'd be like 70 and 80 degrees or whatever. But yeah, so, from the 6th grade to, let's see, like I got down here in the 5th grade. So from the 6th grade to when I graduated from high school, my skin has just been on an up and down journey every single time. And it didn't make it worse that, sometimes like my mom and my stepdad would have problems and it would stress me out. So that takes a toll on your eczema. What I found out, it always shows through your skin. So yay. But yeah, so I graduated from high school. Like I was really depressed in high school. It was really, really bad. My skin was off the freaking wall. So it was really, really bad. Yeah, so I graduated from high school. I went to college. I went to North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride. Stayed there for a year. I was actually really depressed, like talking about like I'm smoking Black and Miles. Like I was really, really depressed. Like it was not a game. So I got back, back in Wilmington, not the place I wanted to be because Wilmington is like this big and this wide. It's tiny. Everybody that's here is either older or they're so used to it, they really do not mind. So I'm from New York. A lot of people have not been out of Wilmington. So, So like, they didn't really understand when it came to like me being like, oh my God, I gotta get out of Wilmington. They'd be like, what's wrong with Wilmington? X, Y, and Z. And I'd be like, what you mean what's wrong with Wilmington? Why is it like this big? I could literally walk all around Wilmington. I've walked all around Wilmington. So it got to the point where it was like 2018 and I was just like, listen, I'm gonna go back to New York with my grandma. I'm fed up. I'm sick of it. It's over. And I am wiping makeup off. So I got back to New York and at first it's fine. My skin was breaking out because of the place that I lived at, which was my stepdad's house, which I will most likely talk about in another video. Warning, emotional trauma. But yeah, I was in Wilmington, North Carolina, and well, no, my bad, I messed up. But I was in New York at the time. I was in New York, and around the wintertime, because I left Wilmington. When was it? I left Wilmington November of 2018. And when I got to New York, I'm
Living like Larry.
I'm enjoying everything. That is until my skin peeped that I had moved from one place to another. And my skin was like, oh, outbreak. Next thing you know, my skin is looking crazy. Like, it's way lighter here. My skin is peeling. And this was the first time it was on my face and on my neck so actively. Then it didn't make it any better that I was extremely depressed. Because remember when I told you stress affects the skin when you have eczema? Yeah. So I'm going through that and I'm really, really depressed. I'm looking for job after job after job. This is before the pandemic, so the jobs in North Carolina, no, the jobs in New York were very, very, very limited. And especially because I didn't really have that much experience because my first job was Wendy's when I was in North Carolina. So that didn't really help anything. But, you know, I made it through. I got a job. I got a job at a grocery store called Gristedes on 86th Street. So I'm working and working. I'm putting on cakes and cakes of makeup. At the time, I'm volunteering at an animal shelter on New York Street, which didn't really make anything better because I wanted to be a veterinarian at a time, which I learned no, which I'll have a story about that later because it's very traumatic for me. So after that, you know, I'm in New York. My face is terrible. Every time I put makeup on and I go home at night to take it off, my skin is peeling away with it. It was really on some Wizard of Oz shit. Like my face is melting type shit. Like it was crazy. So I'm doing my thing and everything, trying to save up money. Then at the time I was broke, so the skin products that I did use was too expensive. And if you know New York, you know they're expensive anyway. So it's just like, can't really win for losing at that point. I was just like, fuck it. But yeah, so working my ass off in New York. I'm paying close to nothing at my grandmother's house. This is what I'm using, if you wanted to know. It helps tone your skin out. And it helps with dark spots. But I am working my ass off. I had a very, very flexible schedule. What's the goes under my eyes? Okay, but I had a very, very flexible schedule. And because of that, I'm either working part-time or I'm working full-time. So, and I had a part-time thing, but New York being New York, the minimum wage is 15, so that was amazing for me. And I got paid weekly, you feel me? That was a good deal for me. And I was only 18 years old, so that was a really good deal. But I later found out that it was a crappy deal because, you know, they never gave me PTO, and no matter how much I worked, it was still not enough because I got fired, but that's another story. So as the seasons changed in New York, you know, it went from winter to spring to summertime, my skin got better because at that time, I'm using cortisone, I'm using shea butter and everything. So it's like, I'm doing really good with my skin and, you know, it's getting good. So summertime is when my skin was peak gorgeous. Like I'm talking like everything. It was beautiful. I loved it. As soon as the fall and the wintertime came, it was the exact same thing. So it just like, it made me depressed again. Like it was like a winter, like a seasonal depression type shit. It was really bad. But after that, it would just be a continuous cycle. It was a vicious cycle of summertime good, wintertime bad, and summer and fall was in between. That wasn't until I started like really going into my diet and really exercising and drinking water and everything. And also becoming a vegetarian because a lot of meat and stuff isn't really a good thing. I'll get to that in another video. But yeah, so it wasn't like, it's never a good thing. But now come 2022, I never really have any outbreaks on my skin. I keep a set schedule for my face specifically. Like my face like my face routine is completely different from my skin routine overall, but it's always cortisone. So it's theirs. And I also have this face serum from Palmer's. You can't really see it, but you just gotta wait a little bit. Just gotta wait a little bit. There we go. Is it gonna go through? It's not. Okay, whatever. Anyway, it's that skin therapy oil. It really works. It works wonders and miracles on your skin. Honestly, if you have sensitive skin like me, that's a great thing to do. But I actually have some pictures of when my skin was really bad. Like I'm talking about, I had like it would like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it would just like start to peel and stuff. Like first it would be really, really itchy. So, you know, me being me, I would scratch. Then when I scratched, then my whole face would just go break out. And then my face is different colors. My skin is peeling off and everything. It wasn't a good look at all. Was not a good look. But yeah, you know, 2022, I have a different routine, especially because I went to cosmetology school. And I was just like, well, let me just ask my instructor. And she told me, well, you know, if you use this, like skin therapy oil, toner, because it's a facial toner. Can't really see it. It says facial toner on there. It's a facial toner. And she was like, just keep the same routine up and your face should clear itself out because you do have hyperpigmentation. You have discoloration on your skin. So I'm like, okay, you know, I could do that. Literally, I would say like a month and a half later, my face was really clear. You just have to be consistent with your skin. Once you're consistent with it, your skin will get onto the routine and it'll start to clear itself off, especially if you're using the right things for your skin specifically. Like, I don't know when it comes to like people with oily skin, because my skin is typically, like, if not always, dry and sensitive. Like, it's always dry and sensitive. So it's just like, no matter what, it was never enough. Like, sometimes I even use, like, I have my own shea butter serum that I use for my body, which includes like shea butter, coconut oil, jojoba oil, or jojoba oil. My dad calls it jojoba oil. I call it jojoba oil. Peppermint oil, lavender oil. Because the peppermint oil prevents me from scratching a lot. Because like I used to scratch a lot, but then I found out about peppermint oil. I don't scratch anymore. And now my skin is actually really good. My skin is really, really good. Like, there will be times, like I said, every blue moon where my skin will just be like, well, I'm gonna break out anyway. I don't care how good you've been doing. And at that point, it's probably because I just stopped drinking a lot of water. Like in the wintertime, I don't drink as much water as I should. And that's a me problem. But yeah. So yeah, you know, that's really the story about how my skin was maybe 4 years ago and how it is now. Because now I don't break out on my face at all. And I actually wanted to take off my makeup so you could see it. As you can see, I didn't take off like all of my makeup under my eyes because I really got to get into that. And for that part, I can't really talk and do it at the same time because my multitasking, like, it's up there, but it's not like there. So yeah, but as you can see, like, there's still some dark spots on my face right here and everything. But other than that, my face is pretty much clear. But that is all for today. Please like, subscribe, and comment what type of skin type you have and what type of serums that you realize really work on your skin and what you use. And I'll definitely talk about it in another video because I'm a cosmetology student, so I definitely still have a lot to learn. Thank you so much. I love Sage.